Okay, at this point in the song we've just got some little licks interspersed between the backing chords. Section 14. Okay, another short section. 5th fret on the G string, 6th fret on the B, then back to the 5th fret on the G string, bend up a whole step, hold the bend and give it a bit of a wobble as it sustains. Section 15. Bit like the kind of opening melody, 5th fret on the A string, then 5th on the D string, 7th, then the 8th, 5th fret on the G string, bend up a whole step, then release the bend. And again, bend up, but don't release the bend, jump straight to the 3rd fret of the G string, followed by 2 hits on the 5th fret of the D. Section 16. Similar idea, taken up an octave. We're starting with 7 on the G string, then 8 on the B string, 10 on the B string, 10 on the B string again, bend up a half step, 5 on the G string, bend up a whole step, then release the bend, then 8 on the B string, bend up a whole step and release the bend, a bit of vibrato as it sustains. Section 17. Okay, basically another short section, 6 on the B string, hammer on to the 8th on the B string, and hammer on even further to the 10th. Now there's two things going to happen at once you hit the 10th. You'll scoop the tremolo and then go for a half tone bend, so it can seem a bit strange at first, but so that's how it's done. Section 18. Okay, nice little brush across the strings here. 10th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B string, then the 11th fret on the B string, bent up a whole step and you hold that. Little point to note really with this is for a phrase like that, Gary Moore will generally not do a downstroke and an upstroke, but one downstroke like that. So it's much more fluid. Okay, having done that, staccato note, 8th fret of the B string, 2 more staccatos on the 11th, then another 11th on the B string pulling off to 8. Okay, 10th fret on the G string, then finally a quicker pull off this time. It's the 11th fret of the B string to the 8th fret, then slide that down to the 6th fret. Section 19. Right, here's another fast Gary Moore pentatonic thing. So we start, well, it's the G blues scale in the 3rd position there. We're starting on the 3rd fret of the top E string, then the 6th fret of the B string pulling off to the 3rd fret, and a kind of hammer-on pull-off figure on the G string, 5th fret hammering on to 6th, pull off back to the 5th, then pull off to the 3rd, and the 5th fret of the D string pulling off to the 3rd. Now this is quite unusual, this part of the phrase, so we have the 3rd fret of the G string hammering on to the 5th, hammer on then to the 6th, slide that up to the 7th, 6th fret of the B string, then jump across to the 6th fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B, then the 6th fret of the G, 5th fret of the G pulling off to the 3rd, 5th fret of the D, 3rd fret of the G, 5th fret of the G pulling off to the 3rd, 5th fret of the G, 5th fret of the G, bend up a whole step, release the bend, pull off to the 3rd, and a triplet on the 5th fret of the D, 3 hits, then a 4th hit. So that's quite a complicated phrase, worth working on slowly for a while. Section 20. Right, we are 15th fret of the D string, quarter tone bend, then over to the 12th fret of the G, skipping to the 15th fret of the B string, we then bend up a tone and a half, then keep repicking, and it happens about 8 times, I think. And then release the bend, 12th fret of the G string, 10th fret of the G string, hammering on to the 12th, then hammer on to the 15th of the G string with a scoop. So I'll just play that bit a bit nicer for you. Okay, section 21. Okay, we're starting with a non-sort of pick note. It's the 17th fret of the D string, so you've come out of like that, really. So the first note of this section being, then we have a really nice kind of legato pentatonic thing. We're going 15 to 17, hammering on the D string. Same thing on the G. Then we get over to the B string and we go 15 to 18. Then a full tone bend on that 18th fret. I'll recap that. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but do a 2-tone bend. Okay, and then we're going to go with no bend. So the 3 sections are section 22. Okay, we're starting another one of these fast runs, starting on the 15th fret of the top E string, then the 15th fret of the B string, 18th fret of the top E string, 15th fret of the top E, 17th of the top E, pulling off to the 15th, then the 18th fret of the B string, pulling off to the 15th, the 17th of the G string, back to the 15th fret of the B string, hammering on to the 18th, 15th fret of the top E string, 18th fret of the B string, pulling off to 15, 18th fret of the G string, 15th fret of the B string, 18th fret of the G string, pulling off to the 17th, then the 15th, okay, then the 17th fret of the D string, 17th fret of the G, 17th fret of the D again, 15th fret of the G string, hammering on to the 17th, 15th fret of the B string, then brush across from the 17th fret of the G to the 15th fret of the B with the pick like that. Okay. Then the 18th fret of the top E string, bent up a whole step. Section 23. Okay, we've got more of those consecutive bends going up, starting on the 17th fret, then the 18th, 19th and 20th. So let's have a look at that. Then that one again. Kind of position shift there. We're going to go to the 20th fret of the B string, 22nd fret of the top E, and bend that up a tone and a half to get an F. Okay, then off and to a straight 22nd fret, Do the bend again, straight note, and a bend again. I'll just recap that little bit. And the final phrase is the 20th fret of the top E, bend up a whole step, release the bend, and pull off to the 18th fret. And then the 20th fret of the B string. There are some more barely audible fills happening on the fade of the track, but that's basically where the body of it ends, so feel free to put your own things in. That's the loner.